going through one man, which you initially went through, which was the hospital alone. You're going through, if you have medical insurance, you're going through MEPS insurance. You're going to sanctions laws, which let's say it was first £600. Now it's 1200,000 because you are now paying med insurance. Med insurance need income. The hospital needs income. Now it's 250,000 because the government want their own piece of it because it's taxation. Like, bro, we've taxed you for your own art, getting better. And then there's other things added onto it. Now, I believe the UK should get private, and it probably won't go in the best way possible. I feel like the UK will treat it better compared to America, 100%, because at the end of the day, it's the government making the rule, but then it's the people who, like, we really rule as well. Although it's not really like that, it is like that.
That's how it should be.
There's a certain limit we'll tolerate. You understand? The governments, the higher ups know there's a certain limit we'll tolerate. You understand? That's why they won't just set tax inflation to a super sky. Little by little, you get me? And then to a point where they can't do it, stretch it no more. So then that's when all COVID and blah, or special disease they're going to make so that the world can be subservient or whatever. Yeah. But now let's talk about forget all that, let's talk about that now. I believe tax is a scam, a massive scam, and you only realize tax is a massive scam and NHS free is a massive scam when you work in the NHS.
Yeah.
You see so many individuals take the NHS for granted. Why I say big up the nurses at the start of this podcast, and you might have forgotten now because it's gone on for a while, is because nurses don't just deal with very ill patients. This is not doctors. Doctors don't deal with it. Doctors don't deal with like the aftermath. There's this thing called white coat syndrome, and it's basically when a patient or someone meets a doctor, their heart rate, they become tachycardic, so their heart rate starts to increase because they're seeing the doctor. So it's like this thing where they feel nervous kind of thing, you know what I'm saying? And most likely, most people become subservient. I've experienced that myself. You automatically feel like this doctor's really smart. Fucking hell, let me be kind of accurate with my words. I'm feeling this chest pain. It's like a plethora all around. It's all over the place. And you're trying to use big words. You get me? So you're trying to please the doctor, kind of thing. Then once they've done that, so the doctor won't really know. That's why some doctors miss out on the fact that this person has mental health issues or this person has social issues or certain problems, because they behave good in front of the doctors until they get moved on from A&E to a bay. And once they're in the bay, this is what the nurses and the HCA have to deal with. This patient mentally is not okay. This patient misbehaves. This patient kicks out. Of a night time, this patient starts to remove his trousers and starts peeing all over the place. Because when they're with the doctors, white coat syndrome, I feel like they kind of minimize they kind of close it, thinking that it's only, their whole behavior changes. They only say, oh, physical behavior and then certain parts. Their whole behavior changes. That's why some doctors don't pick up on things. Now, back to the nurses. The nurses deal with these problems. And if you now look into the history of that individual, a majority of them don't pay tax. A majority of them don't work. A majority of them are just taking money from the government. And that is your money that your probably hard-working parents or you yourself have, you've worked the whole shift. They've taken what 10% from your money to put it into something that you are not even using. Because I can tell you this now, I have never ever needed a hospital. I dislocated my little toe, didn't need a hospital. I'm ill, don't need a hospital. Only time I went, there was one time I went into the NHS because I dislocated my little toe actually. This one was a bad dislocation. After I dislocated it multiple times, but this one was bad because it was like, when you dislocate your little toe, it's like your toe goes, you dislocate the whole toe, but I dislocated half of my little toe. So, and I slapped it back into place. We went for an x-ray. X-ray took 2 minutes, sent me home. 2 minutes out of how many percent of each my wages every week? You understand? If there was NHS privatization, I would have just paid that one fee to get my x-ray and that was it. More time, a lot of the money will be coming back to you as well and you'd be able to afford that if you were working. Now people might say, you can put in any time. People might say, fortune, what about, bro, if you're not contributing to the government, contributing to the world, what, unless you got a serious issue that makes you not contribute, that's when NHS should be free for you.
Okay, so you're saying it should be free for some people?
It should be free for 100%. It's not for everybody. Like my little brother's got Down syndrome. He will need the NHS. It should be free for him. It should be free. But there's enough people in this UK that don't have physical disabilities to pay for. Nothing should stop you from being able to. Some people are just lazy and don't want to work. Let's be honest.
I think that like is, I don't know, over exaggerated in a sense. Just like a lot of things like to do with politics, whatever, it's always over exaggerated to suit a certain, story, whatever the case is. I don't think as many people really like lynch off the NHS as we believe there are, if that makes sense. That's just my personal opinion of it. And I think more coming from how I guess I was raised, the people I've been around. I've been around a lot of people who can't work due to mental illness, can't work due to physical, as well as families who come here, don't speak English, don't do whatever the case is, so they can't really hold a job that would afford them great health care, as well as taking care of their kids, whatever the case is. And then you just have general people who were born here, went to school here, who just don't know what it is to actually hold a job. Now, in that case, I wouldn't say they're lynching off the NHS. I feel like they just have to be taught how to work, because everybody is capable. Well, everybody that can work is capable of holding a stable job if you know how to. Do you know what I mean? Because it's not as easy as people make it seem. It's discipline, it's motivation, all of them things. Like, I'm sure everybody that works, not every day you want to go into work, but you do it because you know you have responsibilities. So I feel like there's ways that we could improve it without necessarily shutting it all off from those people, if that makes sense.
And now you realise that I taught you guys something.
Huh?
Now you realise I taught you guys something.
You taught us something,
As in, you can never make things work with just one singular policy.
Oh yeah.
Nothing works on its own, on a singularity. Everything that gets done always needs to have other things. And I also lied about saying I hate the government. That is cap. Because nobody understands that. I feel like a lot of people, because sometimes I hear people say, Boris Johnson is the, yay, guy's a bit of a crackhead still.
But he doesn't run it by himself.
But he can't, it's not possible for you to want something to change. You alone want something, because it might not work for the other individual.
Yeah.
That's why I said my little brother, the Down syndrome. bro, he needs that NHS. Fair enough, parts of the NHS I believe should be privatised, but something else will need to change for that to. For example, like you said, if there's a privatisation of the NHS, aspects of it, like for example, people who because of mental health can't work. That means you have to put something in place to help people with mental health issues, and then you have to put something in place to help someone like an educational program to teach people how to keep their jobs, how to work at a maximum rate. And if somebody's not able to do that, you then have to change a policy in working that says, oh, if someone can't wake up early on time, oh, work starts at 10 p.m. rather than 9 p.m. in the morning, because some people can't hack a morning. Like that's where sometimes if you go in the educational system, having 9 a.m. lectures or waking up 9 a.m., that's where it comes into place.
Yeah.
Someone was saying how the government's kind of, the naughty kids never used to come in early in the morning because they couldn't hack it. Sometimes it's not their fault, they just can't hack it.
Yeah.
But the UK has taught us to wake up 9 in the morning so that when it comes to job time,
You're
9 in
used
the
to it,
morning,
yeah.
you're used to
9
it, you
a.m.
get me? So a lot of things play into everything. It's kind of, a lot. There's a lot. But in this little podcast we've had, we've talked about a lot of things.
Yeah.
This is just a practice. So instead of talking about a lot of things, we have to stick to one topic because we went all around the fucking place. So we touched space already. We even touched Earth. We touched the core of the Earth. We touched Christianity and all of that. So
Yeah.
that is the podcast ended. Joseph decided to escape. 3 other guys in the landing. I don't run away, bitch. I swing my shank. Safe.